So as you can maybe see and probably hear, we're back in the truck, and I had mentioned in a previous video that we had some issues with the truck. It was at the mechanic. Glad to say that it's back and we can review with you exactly what the problem was. But before we get into that, go ahead and click on that subscribe button, click the bell for notifications when we release new videos. So we first noticed an issue several weeks ago on our way home from camping. We were towing the fifth wheel, and the Ford Super Duty trucks are really smart. They have the included trailer brake control system, which I love. And the part of that system is it gives you a warning notification whenever it detects that the trailer has been disconnected, not physically disconnected, but electrically. So not long after we left the campground, we were on a twisty, up and down, bumpy road, and I got notification that the trailer was disconnected. And that worries me some because I rely on the trailer brakes to slow that mass of the trailer and to alleviate some of the strain on the truck to slow down. So whenever I get that notification, I know to immediately check and make sure things are okay. And initially I thought, probably no big deal. We were on that super bumpy road, and the plug, the seven-way plug in the back, I figured was just loose. So I thought I'd go back there and jiggle a little bit and it would be fine. So I tried that. We pulled over, I stopped and tried it, and it still started acting up again just right down the road. So we pulled into a Dairy Queen, and I checked everything over, and even when it said trailer disconnected, the lights still worked and the brakes still worked. So that
on the camper.
Yeah, the lights and the brakes on the camper still worked. So that eased my worries a little bit. So we dropped the trailer off at the house, and we had the boat still over at the lake, so we needed to make the return trip to camp to pick up the boat to come home.
But at that time you were just thinking it was a camper issue.
Right. At that time I thought there's probably a short in the wiring of the camper. I've actually had that happen before, not with this trailer, but with a different trailer. I had an issue where those trailers are built so quickly, and they use self-tapping machine screws, and when they put the panels on, sometimes the outside panels of the trailer, those screws go right through the wiring. So in a previous trailer I had, there was a short in the wiring and it kept shorting out the truck. I also thought maybe just my 7-way plug and my trailer connection point on the truck was dry. So I stopped at an Advanced Auto Parts on the way to get the boat and picked up a tube of dielectric grease.
So what's the problem?
An issue with the turn signal brake lights and running lights in combination. The running lights work fine on the front and the mirrors, but the tail lights look like they're either very dim or totally out. The brake lights seem to work by themselves, but not with the running lights and not with the turn signal. When you have the turn signal on by itself, it works okay until you press the brake pedal, and then it goes to a fast flash, which works fine, fast flash on the mirror and front indicator, but on the back is dim. So anybody following behind us can't see any of our signal indications. Well, then on the way to get the boat, it didn't take us very long to notice that our flashers, our turn signals, were doing a fast flash, which typically indicates that you've got a bulb burnout. And I thought, okay, that kind of makes sense. Maybe if my truck has an issue, that was causing the issue with the trailer. So then I shifted my thoughts to, it's not an issue with the plug or the trailer, it's got to be something with the truck, probably a burnout taillight. We discovered that it was both turn signals, left and right. And then as it became dusk and the automatic headlights of the truck turned on, I discovered more issues. Whenever I would push the brake pedal, the flashers would stop entirely. The turn signals wouldn't work at all. They would just be really dim on my display. So I wondered what that was. We pulled over
at another
Dairy Queen. Dairy Queens are everywhere. They're like the Dollar General store. And when we stopped at the second Dairy Queen, I had Jennifer run the light controls, and we discovered that everything seemed to be working in the front of the truck.
What'd you try so far?
I replaced the fuse to the turn signal. Now we got an extra slow turn signal flash.
What do you think, Olive? What do you think's wrong?
I think it's a turn signal relay.
You think it's a what?
Turn signal relay or a brake relay.
What are you doing?
Putting some dielectric grease into the connection, although I'm sure that doesn't have anything to do with it. It won't hurt at this point. Okay, so this is interesting.
Yeah.
Running lights are on in the truck. See how they're very dim? As soon as I put the trailer on, see how they're brighter? Thankfully, we're hauling the trailer home, otherwise we would have no rear At this point, it was probably 9 o'clock at night. We're pretty close. So,
And it's all as exciting as it sounds.
well, so when I connected the lights to the boat, everything worked perfectly. All the lights on the boat were bright and worked correctly. The lights on the truck were bright and worked correctly. Got the boat home no problem. Started to do some research online. Wasn't a lot of information on the forums. It wasn't anything on YouTube, so that's partially why I'm posting this video. And I got to thinking in my head, what would cause this issue when the truck's not towing, but the issue goes away when you are towing? And the only thing I could come up with was that when you're connected to a trailer, like the boat trailer, you're getting a ground from the trailer, and maybe my issue was that the back lights weren't getting grounded. So I made a call to our mechanic, and just a side note, I recommend everyone gets a local hometown mechanic that has his own garage. The mechanic I have does an excellent job.
Well, and I like that the mechanic gets to keep 100% of his money.
Right. Yep. He took a look and discovered that my guess was right. It was a grounding issue. He decided, and I agree, it was a better idea to just make a new grounding point. He actually made a couple new grounding points, connected new wires to the wiring harness, to the tail lights, to the trailer, and everything now works perfectly. Lights are all bright, we're good. So that's just a little story of how the truck was out of commission for a little while, and something as simple as the ground not being strong enough is what caused that issue.
How old is the truck?
The truck is a 2005 F350 Super Duty diesel with the 6.0 Powerstroke engine. And I've owned it since new, and we can do a full review on the truck at some point.
In case someone's
Sounds like
looking to
fun.
buy a 15-year-old vehicle.
Well, people still have them, they still run great. Ours has 122,000 miles on it as we drive right now. We don't drive the truck a lot other than when we're using it as a truck. So we do a lot of towing with it, hauling with it, and in the wintertime when the roads are bad, like I say in my garage clean out video, which I can put a link to up above, the truck's the safest vehicle to be in. So to end that story, would you like to tell them on this drive where we're going, just to make sure everything's okay with the truck?
Well, it was only right to test it out, head into Dairy Queen.
Yeah, so we'll get to Dairy Queen and just make sure the lights work okay. And then while we're there, we'll see if Olive wants to get a free dog cone.
Even though you don't eat sugar and I don't eat dairy.
Right. Thank you for tuning into this video. It's probably informative to some of you if you're trying to figure out if you're having issues with your vehicle. And obviously this isn't just a Ford truck issue or a truck issue at all. It's really, if you're trying to trace down the issue you're having with part of the lights on your vehicle being extremely dim, I would say first thing to check is the ground. So click that subscribe button. Comment below if you've had similar issues with the vehicle.
Where are we, Olive?